Hello everyone, here is another great article in the news today. Video by my420spot.com. Chuck Schumer lists marijuana as a priority in the first comments after the election on cannabis. While the Senate session ramps up, new Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, DNY, reiterated that marijuana reform will be a legislative priority of his chamber. Schumer said, federal marijuana reform will be part of the racial justice agenda that lawmakers will pursue in the 117th Congress. It's a signal to advocates that Schumer's pre-election commitments to legalization were not just political bluster. Schumer said that marijuana reform intersects with racial and economic justice. We need to change this situation in which a young man is arrested with a small amount of marijuana in his pocket. He has a criminal record the rest of his life. He is not a successful citizen, this job won't hire him, that job won't hire him. The comments came in answer to Maddow's prompt to list his top legislative priorities for the new year. He first listed climate change, then discussed cannabis, in a discussion about economic and racial inequality, and concluded with discussion of democracy and election reform. Those are the three stools, he replied. In the new interview, Schumer did not explicitly call for legalization, but he previously confirmed his commitment to continue leading the far-reaching reform under a Democratic majority. In October, he said that if Democrats secured enough seats, he would put his cannabis descheduling bill on the Senate floor, resigning anti-legalization Senator Mitch McConnell, RKY, to the minority leadership role. I'm an activist for racial justice, he said at the time. I believe the marijuana laws are an example of racial injustice, and changing them makes perfect sense. And that's all part of the movement now, that's bringing equality in the policing, economics, and everything else. Our bill is, in a certain sense, at the nexus of racial justice, individual freedom, and state rights. The senator has been a strong supporter of comprehensive cannabis reform. For example, in 2019, he sided with reform advocates, who argued that passing a bill to protect banks that serve the marijuana industry was not enough. Now that Democrats are in control, advocates and lawmakers are preparing for a wave of marijuana-related reform proposals that could see the floor and reach President Biden. That includes a bill that the House passed last year to legalize cannabis federally and promote social equity. Already in 2021, 2 congressional marijuana bills have been filed, one to change cannabis classification from Schedule I to Schedule III, and another to prevent the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs from denying veterans benefits because medical marijuana is legal under state law. If leadership decides to advance those modest measures without controversy, it remains to be seen what Biden would do if a piece of comprehensive legalization legislation landed on his desk. The president supported decriminalizing possession of marijuana, legalizing medical cannabis reform, minor federal rescheduling, expunging prior records, and letting states set their own policy without federal intervention. But he opposed adult use legalization, despite overwhelming support in his party. In any case, Schumer's comments seem promising for meaningful legislative action on cannabis reform, regardless of Biden's stance on the specifics of the proposal. Additionally, Biden's recent appointment of several reform officials can be considered a positive sign from the view of activists. Biden's choice for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, California Attorney General Xavier Becerra, D. is reform-friendly. Rachel Levine, his choice for another prominent role at HHS, is also a strong supporter of medical marijuana. In an announcement earlier this month, the Biden transition team noted her work as a top Pennsylvania official on medical cannabis. Jamie Harrison, the former South Carolina Democratic Party chair, was recently named to lead the Democratic National Committee, and he supports full marijuana legalization. He announced earlier this month that Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo, D., should lead the Commerce Department. In her confirmation hearing on Tuesday, the governor voiced support for legalization in 2019 and released a budget proposal. The budget called for a state-run regulatory model for cannabis. For Attorney General, Biden is nominating Judge Merrick Garland, who has not been particularly outspoken about his views on marijuana policy. While marijuana advocates were concerned about his comments regarding a federal appeals case on marijuana scheduling in 2012, he doesn't seem to have been publicly hostile to a policy change. He has also nominated former prosecutor Vanita Gupta as an associate attorney general. She favors cannabis legalization and is opposed to harsh criminalization policies. Thank you for watching this video by my420spot.com. Check out our t-shirts at https://www.mmj. T-shirts.com